You need to get out another 20 pounds.
Okay.
Here we go. Good day and welcome to the Herbert Dennard Show. Today we have one of the best preachers they have in the Middle Georgia area on the show. We're honored to have Rev.Willie Reid.
Well, it's good to be here, Brother Herbert.
You are the pastor of Fellowship Bible
Baptist, that's right. 431 Dunbar Road, Warner Robins.
How long have you been pastoring there?
30 years on the, 30 years, February the 7th, which is the second Sunday we started a new church back in 1980.
You are building a dome. I mean, you go down there and you see this big dome sitting out there in the field. It's moving along pretty well. Tell us the advantage of a dome as a church rather than a regular church building.
Well, a dome has a way of being like a cave. It's a concrete building, and the concrete building have good a sound, and also the acoustics is kind of tough when you first get in them, but they fix that. But the energy savings that we're looking for from other domes is what calls our attention, because it stays something like from 58 to 68 degrees at all times, winter and summer. So you don't have to heat it as much or cool it as much as you would a traditional building. And the cost effectiveness is about the same.
Okay. When will you move into this dome?
Well, we were hoping for somewhere in April. We were hoping for Easter, but it's been raining so hard we don't know. I talked to the contractor this morning. They say we might have to have a couple more weeks or whatever, but they're pushing it, so we might still make that deadline. We're hoping to.
Okay, but if it's not Easter, it'll be sometime not far in the future.
There you go, within 30 days, yeah.
A while back, you had some health issues.
Oh, yes.
Could you tell us about them?
Oh, yes, Harry, we had a problem first in 1998. I caught diabetes, and then about another 6 months or so, a liver bile duct had stopped up. And I had to wear a bag in my side and on my leg and all for about 3 years. And my nephew called my doctor up one day, and he said he was at Emory University Hospital and he was going to give me half of his liver because I was way down on the list. And so we decided to do the operation. He gave me half of his and put it into me, and it didn't work. So that put me at the top of the list, and I got a liver in within 24 hours, and God just saved my life. And I am grateful to this day to be living here talking to you.
It's not a lot of people that have liver changed out or put in.
No, a lot of them can't get one because there's so many people that need them today, and I don't know what's causing all of this. Some say it's in our diet, you know, and some say that our health is falling because of what we eat and how food is raised now. And that's why organic stuff is more what I eat now, you know, the old farm raised stuff, because it don't have all the chemicals in it, you see.
How do you, what do you eat now?
I normally eat like baked chicken and...
What about breakfast? Give us breakfast.
Oh, breakfast we do like eggs and grits, maybe sometime a little bacon, you know, maybe 1-2 strips, that's about it. And some toast, and we go on, and then we go to the baked food mostly, you know. That baked food is good for you with some rice. We eat a lot of rice with baked chicken and, you know, the steak. We can eat steak pretty good, or some type of beef.
Eat a lot of vegetables?
Oh, yes, that's the key, to lots of vegetables, you know. Have to eat a lot of vegetables because vegetables is what keeps your nutrition in. And plus we take nutrition supplement vitamins to help that along too. So
what are you doing about your diabetes?
Well, we are being monitored by doctors, you know, and we have to take insulin every day and trying to keep it down. We average around 120 to, you know, 98 to 120 most of the time when we check it. And it'd be pretty good. And I've been holding on real good with it.
What about when they have all these functions at these churches, Baptist churches, and the ladies in the church cook these red velvet cakes and potato pies and all that sweet stuff? How do you handle that?
Well, now that's the hardest part to handle, because we got some sisters out there in our church that can really cook those cakes you're talking about. And we just lost one of our members, by the way, Miss Allen. She used to cook those cakes, And Miss Grace and all them, they cook those cakes, man, and it's real hard to turn them down. In fact, my wife had to tell them, don't y'all be cooking him those cakes, he don't need it, you know. And boy, it is something to turn down, but it's hard.
But you be strong.
Sometimes. Sometimes I get weak now. I gotta confess.
But you don't eat as much as you used to.
No, I don't eat as much. No, you don't.
Your church has grown. You started it, what, 30 years ago?
Right.
And with how many members?
Well, it was just my wife and I.
Just you and your wife?
Just me and my wife. And
in one of your rooms in your house?
No, we didn't do the room. We went out into a little village out Bible Baptist Temple had these old army barracks they had put together for classrooms. So we went and rented one of those. It fit my budget, you know, about $150 a month. And we was out there at the time, and we just started. My wife was a school teacher, and we just started to go and get those kids, and had a van at the time, and I fill that van up every morning and take them. And then we started asking some of the parents would they come, and they came, and then we just started from there. And to tell you the truth, Dr. Dave Wilcoxon's wife, Ann Wilcoxon, was our first member. In fact, that day when she joined, I had told the Lord, I said, Lord, I don't think you called me to do this, you know, because I didn't want to split no church or nothing like that. And I didn't believe in that. So people from my former church, they couldn't even join this church because I didn't want to split the church and didn't want other folks members of the church.
What
I wanted
church did you come
sinners. I came out of Springfield Baptist. Okay. Well, Harold Rawls was a pastor at the time, and now, of course, Pastor Daniel Jackson is there.
Uh-huh.
And that's the church I came out of, and see, that's kind of close right here together. So we didn't want to take anybody else members. We wanted sinners, people that didn't know Christ, and we went from there.
Mm-hmm. And when you started building in 3, 4, 5, 10 a year, 15 a year?
Well, it began, it was kind of slow, you know, because of where I was, and at the time wasn't too many churches starting up back then. I don't know, they're starting up everywhere now, I mean, all over the place now, but back then it was kind of hard. A Baptist church, I think it was like 20, 25 years before we started one, before the last one that we saw on record that had started. But we had a lot of children. My wife was very attracted to children. That's on her heart, you know, make sure these children know Jesus Christ, and the parents, they would let them come, and then the parents started coming, and then people just started coming. A lot of my old friends I was out in the world with, you know, they came out and to see what I was all about, and they started joining, and they said, hey, he's really changed, you know, because I had gotten born again about 5, 6 years before that, and I served as a deacon at Springfield also. Then told me he wanted me to start a church. And in fact, he woke me up about it early one morning, and I had to talk to him about that, you know. It is something else to know how the Lord can call you to do something, and you just have to get it done.
And your wife was very supportive from the beginning?
Yes, she was. She was. If it wasn't for my wife today, I don't think I would be where we are today. She is an excellent first lady. She's a very good wife. She's dedicated. She loved Jesus Christ. I mean, that lady, I sometimes ask God, it look like she loves you more than I do, you know?
Well, that is good.
Yeah.
And so you got into the ministry, and your church started growing,
Mm-hmm.
and it just continued to grow.
Right, it's starting to grow. And then, you know, you have those little down times, and we moved on Dunbar Road. That's when it really began to take off, and I got out that little village and actually got in a building that looked like a church, talked like a church, you know, like a duck, you know.
Mm-hmm. So
like
it got to be a church.
Got to be a church. So when we became church, things began to grow. And then we outgrew that little building, and we put on the education wing, and then we put on the building that we're in now. And of course, now we're at 2 services, 8 and 10:45, and we've recently planted another church across town, you know, with Rev. Dennard. Some of them are there with him. And we got a little more room now, but now we want to build a dome to go in there.
So what